Hello YouTube, and welcome back to the final part of our kickoff battle royal, song number 15 of 15, and it is 512. I need to turn the lights on. 1 second. Right, that's much better. Now, where were we? Oh yeah, that's right, the song. Apparently, right. No, okay, let me try that again. No, we're not doing that again. This is only the second Lamb of God song we've ever done on this channel. And I really do not know exactly why it's taken me so long to get to song number 2, because... other things, I suppose. I think I must have covered more from MC Mental in the amount of time that I have done Lamb of God. Actually, speaking of Lamb of God, the song we're going to do today, guys, this is about Randy Blythe, who was part of the band, and he was held in trial in the Czech Republic over suspected manslaughter, I believe it was, because somebody died at a concert, and I have no idea what on earth. I suppose I'll find out afterwards whether or not he actually did it or not, but Jesus Christ, that's one way to start. That's a one way to start off, but you know what? Let's see exactly where we get to this. Song number 15 of 15, 512. So if you guys want to check out the original video for yourselves, links will all be in the description down below. So let's begin. 512 in 3, 2, 1, and... Just 1 second.
But the things of time still hold their light.
Okay there, ladies and gentlemen, that was 512 by Lamb of God. Jesus Christ. The aggression amounted in just under 5 minutes was extraordinary, I felt. And I couldn't quite remember off the top of my head whether or not the other song by LOD was anything quite like that. In fact, actually, you know what, let's just, before we go any further, I just need to, like, go a little bit more into whether or not Randy Blythe actually, I'm pretty sure, was he found guilty? I mean, I'm pretty sure he wasn't, but vocalist not guilty. Oh, okay, thank goodness for that. Well, that's something at least, because you know what? Listen, if it came out that Randy Blythe was at all guilty, I'm pretty sure I would have heard about that story right now. I mean, well, at least heard the story that he was guilty, and it would be a better idea not to go anywhere near LOD because something like that will pretty much, like, if that doesn't end your career, it's gonna put you on the shelf for quite a long time. And would you look at that? 49 years of age. Doesn't look bad for 49, I guess. So, well, at least that's something. And you know what? I did mention that this was about that manslaughter possible charge of manslaughter hanging over Blythe's head. But also, it's pretty obvious that this is meant to be taking place within his prison cell that he was probably locked up for 512 days, hours, minutes or something like that before he was released, or possibly something like that. But I get the idea of that's a really good way to be inspired for something as heavy as Lamb of God, because you're trapped in a cell with 6 bars laid across the sky, 4 empty walls to fill the time. Well, you know what? I'll say this very much for Randy. He definitely did fill up the time by rehearsing or practicing this. It's ironic as well that he was I don't know whether or not he wrote this whilst he was in prison or not, because he seems to have, I'd say, definitely made up the time. One careless world, you lose your life. A grave new world awaits inside. Yeah, exactly. And listen, I don't particularly know what exactly the full story was about why Randy, of all people, had to be charged, well, not charged, but arrested on suspicion of manslaughter. Like, was it because was it like LOD were performing in the Czech Republic and somebody got into an accident and somehow Randy was involved in all that? In fact, you know what, I think that's, we'll go further than that. We'll take a look at the manslaughter case rather quickly. Let's just over the... Okay. The Randy Blythe manslaughter case was a court case in the Czech Republic stemming from a 2010 Lamb of God concert in Prague, wherein 19-year-old fan Daniel Nosk sustained head injuries leading to a coma and subsequent death. During the investigation, Czech police unsuccessfully asked United States authorities for cooperation. When the band returned to the Czech Republic for another concert 2 years later, its vocalist Randy Blythe was arrested. I'm a little bit confused about something. I mean, if the Czech authorities thought Randy was guilty, but guilty of what exactly? They mentioned that Daniel suffered from head injuries and head trauma, but they never said for whatever reason why what were they arresting Randy for? Randy Blythe was arrested, charged with causing Nosek's death, and remained in custody for 5 weeks. Okay, so five weeks. I'll tell you what. Let's think about this. 5 weeks is 35 days. Christ almighty, my math is terrible. 35 days, 24 hours in. I'm just trying to figure out what the 512 is meant to be in connection to. Is it like maybe the number of his cell, or? I'll probably take it as right now that it may possibly be like the number of his cell. According to a verdict delivered by the municipal court in Prague on March the 5th, 2013, it was proven that Blythe had thrown Nosek off stage and thus had moral responsibility for his death. Oh. However, due to the circumstances, Blythe was not held criminally liable, and most of the blame lay with prompters and security members. The acquittal was upheld by the Prague High Court on June 5th, 2000. You see, and I've seen this in a few live videos myself, is that you'll notice that if some people like go over like the front fencing, security like sort of like, I don't know whether he ushers them to one side so they can get back in the crowd. But I think there's very specific reasons why you don't do that. Also, the stage itself is set quite a distance away from the fence where the crowd is held off. So I'm pretty sure that precautions like that are to prevent people from. Anyway, where was I? However, due to the circumstances, Blythe was not held criminally liable and lay with the security members. So I'll just go into. I'll tell you what. Actually, you know what I was probably gonna do. At some like later point during RageCon, I actually kind of like wanted to do a bunch of like wiki articles about some scandals that happened during the music business, and that could be definitely one to get into. And aside from that, ladies and gentlemen, I don't really figure the blame really. I mean, part of me says some of it did lie in Randy's fault for how this happened, but again, it's not all Randy's fault. Daniel's supposed to be at fault for getting onto the stage, security members for not keeping the public away from the group, and well, at least Randy was released, and we'll probably talk about it in some other detail. Christ, you know what? Hole in the Sky was a lot more uplifting than this, but then again, this was a lot heavier, and you know what? That's how we like it round here. And that, ladies, hopefully it will not be 512 days by the next time I actually get to talk about. Actually, let's test that out before we go away. Let's see, Lamb of God, January 5th, 2019. So I'll tell you what. Let's do this right. Let's do this right proper. So 365 days since January 5th. So how many days since January 5th? Let's see. So 21. So 365 at 21. We're really doing this, guys. 365 at 21. 386 right there. Okay. 29 in February, so we'll add 29 days onto that. 415. Could be close actually. 415, 31 in March. It's a good thing I've got the app here to tell me this. I know that, I'm terrible. 446. 30 and another 54 days. 500. Exactly, it's been exactly 500 days since I last listened to Lamb of God. And honestly, I think we need to pay a few more visits to these guys, possibly and look into this court case ourselves, because yikes. I'd reckon for anyone else that might have dented their career somewhat, but then again, hey, if they didn't find him guilty, then you know what? He was not guilty. It's simple as that. And that, guys, really is where we're up to right now. I employ all of you to ask whether or not you've all enjoyed this kickoff to our RageCon extravaganza celebration, festival, orgy, whatever. I hope you've also enjoyed the layout I did. I went to great expense to finding out a tutorial in about 5 minutes, and then basically bish bash bosh, granny's your aunt, your dad's your nanny, and shit. And I hope all of you guys are going to hopefully not miss this too much, because we've still got at least another 8 or so rumbles to go. and not to mention some very, very special videos coming up all in the next couple of days. So, from all of us here, from RageCon, from me, Raging Reality, the 15 bands that you have all enjoyed whilst we have ventured through this first part of RageCon. So from all of us, it's goodbye from our 15 groups we've pleased doing RageCon. It's a goodbye from our new studio layout, and it's a goodbye from me. Goodbye.